everyone, I'm SuperSonicJB and spooky season is finally here, guys. So I decided I want to go out and celebrate by going ghost hunting. This isn't working. Did Luigi's Mansion lie to me? The Nintendo GameCube was one of my all-time favorite video game consoles. Mostly because of the amazing games available on it. I'm not the only one who loves the GameCube though. No, tons of people still love this console to this day. However, back in the early 2000s, this wasn't always the case. The GameCube did not sell very well at all. Heck, it was one of Nintendo's worst selling consoles. But why though? This was supposed to be Nintendo's amazing next-gen console that followed up the N64, which made 3D gaming possible. Surely Nintendo had to have some cool features to the next console to make them stand out from the competition, right? They added a handle. Can I use it to do pull-ups? Nah, I couldn't handle that. Yeah, unfortunately, the GameCube didn't do much to stand out from the competition. Now yes, it did give us CD discs instead of cartridges, but they were super tiny, and it didn't have as much space as the PlayStation CDs. Another issue was the fact that the GameCube didn't get too many third-party games released on it. It also didn't have too many games released during its launch back in 2001. Now, when the GameCube was first announced, lots of people were anticipating the next mainline Mario game to follow up Mario 64. But then Nintendo came out and announced that the launch title game for the GameCube was going to star Luigi as the main character. This game was called Luigi's Mansion and involved Luigi exploring a haunted mansion full of ghosts and trying to rescue Mario. The announcement of this game at this point in time was not viewed very well. A Mario spin-off game as a launch title instead of a new mainline 3D Mario game made some fans upset. Luigi, ha! Who cares? I only care about Red Wario. It sucks that the GameCube had a terrible launch because Luigi's Mansion was an amazing game. It was the first game to actually star Luigi as the main character too. Yeah, we don't speak about that game. The game was so much fun to play through. The gameplay was amazing, the music was iconic, and the mansion itself was really well designed and kinda creepy. Heck, the beta version of this game was going to be rated T for teen, and was much darker than the final version of the game. It even had this weird looking Luigi video that played after you got a game over, and not gonna lie, it looked kinda creepy. Huh, that looks like me waking up in the morning. Anyways, we're not here to talk about the beta of Luigi's Mansion. No, in honor of Spooktober, I want to take a look back at the first Luigi's Mansion game and see if it still holds up to this day. Now, I'm only going to be taking a look at the original GameCube game, so don't expect me to talk about the lame 3DS remake. Seriously, this should have been on the Switch. But for real though, let's go ahead and take a look back at Luigi's Mansion, shall we? Nintendo. Satan, is that you? So off the bat, Luigi's Mansion has a pretty cool looking title screen with creepy music playing in the background. Heck, even the file select screen has a pretty cool look to it. What's also cool here is the fact that this mansion is at the very top where it says welcome to your mansion. But if you wait around for a bit, the words will start to fade away. But the first thing that goes away is the Y in your. So for a short period of time, it says welcome to our mansion. That's some pretty cool foreshadowing right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's some foreshadowing right there. This joke sucked. Anyways, let's hop into the game and have some fun, shall we? The game starts off with Luigi walking through a dark, spooky forest. Apparently in the game's story, Luigi won a mansion in a contest that he never even entered, which yeah, is pretty sus. That's right, I made an Among Us joke in 2024, and it's still cringe. He arrives at said mansion, but wow does it look super creepy. Apparently Mario went on ahead to see this mansion for himself, but when Luigi enters the mansion, Mario is nowhere to be found. So now Luigi starts to walk around the mansion floor, and this is where we get to control Luigi. You can't do much at the start here. You can just walk around, turn on and off your flashlight by using the B button, and if you press the A button, Luigi will call out to Mario. Mario! Aw, how adorable. We try to enter a door upstairs, but it turns out to be locked. And when we go downstairs, we see an orange light holding a key. It drops the key and heads up to the locked room. Luigi grabs the key, but opens the locked door, where a ghost attacks him, and just before he gets him, the ghost starts getting sucked up by an old man using a vacuum cleaner. Oh, so that's what those things are for. The ghost then sucker punches the old man. And then he introduces himself to Luigi. His name is Professor Egad, and he takes us back to his lab, located across the street. Luigi tells him about how he won this mansion in a random contest, and he mentions that Mario went to the mansion earlier, and was never seen again. Egad says that he saw Mario go in there earlier, so now Luigi and Egad team up in an attempt to rescue Mario in the haunted mansion full of ghosts. Then the game jumps to this menu screen, showing you all the button inputs for the game. Also, if you wait on this menu screen for a little bit, the music will change to Totaka's song, which is a theme written by a music composer at Nintendo known as Totaka. It's a small detail, but still, I thought it was pretty cool. So now we're in EGAD's training room, and this is where he teaches us how to catch ghosts. So how this game works is that you need to stun the ghosts using your flashlight, then use the R button to start sucking them up with the Poltergust 3000, aka that Ghostbusters vacuum cleaner on your back. Once you start to suck up a ghost, you need to hold the control stick in the opposite direction of where the ghost is moving. So if he's moving to the left, you hold the control stick to the right. Once the ghost's health reaches 0, you will catch him. It's a pretty simple concept to follow, and it's pretty fun and satisfying too. After training is done, we head back into the mansion and start exploring. We run into Toad in the foyer, and he says that Princess Peach sent him here to look for Mario, who's gone missing for a long time now. Luigi tells him to stop crying like a sissy and be a man, and this magically makes all the lights turn back on. How does that work? Toad also lets you save your game, and you'll be running into him in several rooms throughout the mansion. So now we can travel from room to room to catch some ghosts. Each room starts off all dark and gloomy, and a certain amount of ghosts will appear, and once you catch all the ghosts, the room will light up, and a chest will appear, that usually holds the key to the next room. They can also contain treasure or some lost items, but more on that later. Sometimes ghosts hide inside of objects, and when you're searching a room, you can press the A button to interact with an object. After beating a few rooms, you'll unlock a different section of the mansion, and this is where you run into the portrait ghosts of the game. And these ghosts are really the heart and soul of this game. According to EGAD, these portrait ghosts here have escaped from his gallery and are now living in different rooms across the mansion. There's 23 of these portrait ghosts in total, and they all have their own unique designs and personalities. In the first area, you fight a father ghost reading in the library, then you fight a mother ghost in the bedroom, brushing her hair, then you fight a terrifying baby. Other areas have you fight a butler, a grandma, a creepy girl ripped straight out of The Exorcist, a piano girl who gets really pissed off if you don't know your Mario music. Then you got an artist, a bad doggo, a lady who showers 24/7. If only some people at conventions learn from her, etc. Every portrait ghost has a puzzle you need to solve before you can start catching them. Some puzzles are easy, like just look away until the ghost tries to scare you, and some require a bit more work. Like the Mr. Lugs fight, where you first light up the candles, then suck up his food, then catch his waiters, then vacuum up all his food, then dodge his attacks for a whole minute straight, and then can finally catch him. My god, that's a lot of steps! Some of these portrait ghosts aren't even required to beat the game. You can just skip a few entirely, which is nice, but I always make sure to catch all of them whenever I replay the game. If you're ever confused on how to catch a portrait ghost, you can use the Game Boy Horror, a device EGAD gives you to scan things and see the map, to scan the ghosts, and it'll give you a hint on how to catch them. I can see you, but you cannot see me. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! Nobody will find me because I'm old, cranky, and by gum, people are afraid of me. Gah! Those are some pretty helpful hints right there. As you start sucking up a portrait ghost, it will drop these shiny pearls that are worth a lot of money. They also drop these poison mushrooms, and trust me, you don't want to touch these, because they'll turn you small, and you won't be able to use your poltergust at all. Thankfully, it only lasts for a short period of time. Now, depending on how quickly you catch a portrait ghost, will lead you to getting a gold, silver, or bronze portrait of them, once you complete a section of the game. Yes, every time you beat a boss, you'll head back to EGAD's lab, and will turn all the portrait ghosts you caught into paintings on the wall. Hence why they're called portrait ghosts. In order to get the best rank, gold, on these ghosts, you'll have to deal up to 90% of the ghost health in one attempt. If the ghost breaks free before that, then you'll get a silver or bronze portrait, depending on how many tries it takes you to catch them. Getting all gold rank portraits can be pretty hard too, because lots of ghosts will fight you until the very end. Now, portrait ghosts aren't the only ghosts you'll be catching in this game. You'll also be catching some boos. Halfway through Area 2 in the game, Luigi will find a secret hatch, and when he presses his button on the wall, the boos will all be free. Even King Boo himself, who is the main villain of this game. This game was King Boo's very first appearance in the Mario series, and he's absolutely an amazing villain and one of my favorites. Anyways, there's 50 boos in total that you can catch in this game, though you only need 40 to unlock the final boss to beat the game. Boos are hidden in most rooms throughout the mansion, and you can find them hiding inside of furniture and other objects, once a room is lit up. In order to catch them, you gotta start sucking them up, but they work differently from other ghosts. They can move way more freely, and even have a chance to go to another room, which can be really annoying. There's nothing more frustrating than trying to catch a boo, and then escaping into a locked room that you can't access. Catching boos can be so frustrating in this game, and some boos here have up to 300 HP! Which is ridiculous! You do get a pretty nice jewel for collecting all 50 of them though. There's also a total of 4 areas to explore in this game, with each area highlighting a certain part of the mansion. Though for some reason Area 4 has you go back and forth from the 3rd floor to the basement, which can lead to a lot of annoying backtracking. There's 4 bosses to fight, and I think they're mostly pretty good, though the Boolossus fight here is so freaking annoying! You have to pot them using this unicorn statue, and then use this ice power-up for your poltergust to freeze the boost and then vacuum them up. The issue here is, they constantly run away from you, and they move faster than me when Alice announces Persona 6. It's so hard to freeze them, especially as you play on, and there's fewer of them to freeze. They even go out of bounds where you can't reach them. Yeah, this fight is truly horrible and relies a lot on luck. It does give you 15 boosts though, which is nice. Now, I mentioned an ice power-up for the poltergust, but there's also a water power-up and even a fire emblem. Wait, no. It's called a fire medallion. Never mind. These medallions let you shoot fire, water, and ice out of your poltergust, and they can help you solve puzzles and beat certain types of ghosts. Also, hidden throughout the mansion is a bunch of treasure. If you collect a ton of this treasure by the end of the game, Luigi ends up building his own mansion, and your overall rank determines how good your mansion is. I did a no money challenge run in this game recently, and was rewarded with a freaking tank. It should have been nothing, but King Boo's crown ruined that for me! In certain parts of the game, you'll come across some of Mario's lost items, and you can give these to the fortune teller ghost, who will tell you some small things on what's coming up in the game. Also, one of these items is Mario's star, and how do you get it, you may be asking? You blow up the moon, of course! Come on, Luigi, who are you, Eggman in Sonic Adventure 2?
I come to make an announcement!
Mario! GM mentions Bowser being here, but also states that Mario soundly defeated Bowser, which led to a creepy theory that fans came up with, where Bowser dies at the end of Mario 64, and King Boo uses his dead body to attack Luigi in the pits of hell during the final boss fight. Yeah, this theory is pretty dark, yet it's not even the darkest theory in this game. There's another weird theory / creepypasta story later in this game. When the power goes out, Luigi enters this room with a bunch of phones, and once you answer the middle one, if you wait around for a bit when lightning strikes, you can see a weird looking shadow on the wall. That is apparently Luigi's shadow, but it seems to be floating, and if you look above it, it kinda looks like he's hung from a noose. So people theorize that Luigi actually killed himself after failing to save Mario from the ghost, and they also believe that the creepy scene for the beta version is supposed to be Luigi right before he dies. Yeah, this theory is a bit far-fetched, because let's be real here, this hanging shadow is for sure just some lighting glitch the devs didn't fix. They did fix it in a 3DS remake though, so it looks like that theory is incorrect. But hey, that's just a theory! A game! Another thing I love about this game is the music and atmosphere. The music sounds high-pitched and dark at times, which gives us this creepy feel. And the atmosphere is super creepy, with this disturbing feel to it that makes this game feel like a horror game. The ghost designs here look amazing and spooky. It sucks that the second and third game ghosts were treated as jokes rather than scary things they had to fight. Heck, even the portrait ghosts here look way more scary than the ones from the third game. Except this guy. He's a weird ghost who lives in a jar. And he looks like a genie mixed in with the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. Anyways, the final boss fight has Luigi take down King Boo, who has stuffed Mario inside a painting. So what, like Mario 64? The final fight takes place in the pits of hell. What is this, Poke Park 2? And I'll admit, this boss is super easy and definitely could have been better. Once he's beaten, we take Mario back to the lab and set him free from his painting prison. Though, it looked like it was quite a painful procedure. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Luigi's Mansion, so let's start wrapping things up with my final thoughts on the game. Overall, Luigi's Mansion is an absolutely amazing and fun game. It controls perfectly, has perfect level design, beautiful music, and the perfect atmosphere for a game like this. In my opinion, this is the best game out of the Luigi's Mansion trilogy. While the other two did improve a lot of the gameplay mechanics, they really didn't have that dark and spooky atmosphere that the first game did, and the ghosts themselves were at their absolute best in the first game. I'd go as far as to say this is one of my favorite Mario spin-off games for sure. Also, I recommend playing the original GameCube version over the 3DS remake, because wow, that version made the whole game feel way too bright. Come on, I'm playing Luigi's Mansion! I don't want to see anything while I'm playing! So yeah, that was Luigi's Mansion. Like I said, it was a fantastic game. I'd say the biggest issue I have with this game, besides Boo lost fight, was the fact that the game was really short. I guess I also have an issue with how it's all fake news. You can't catch a ghost in a freaking vacuum cleaner!